It's the Reid Method Insider Podcast. This is episode 71 of the show, and our special guest tonight is a risk management analyst at one of Canada's big banks and joined Toronto's fast-paced banking industry in 2018, following her graduation from the University of Toronto. Zimbabwe-born and bred, she takes on her role with gratitude following the many sacrifices of her parents, leading her family to significantly better opportunities in Canada. Along with a corporate role comes the pressure of responsibilities and the desire to excel and to reach significant career milestones, in addition to her personal obligations. To address this, she envisioned a space where she could unwind, connecting with individuals from similar backgrounds in a laid-back environment. The concept of Unwind, the event series, was born as a result. However, due to COVID-19, this did not come to fruition immediately. So UnwindTO was born on an Instagram account to form community for the time being until we're all better and we can gather in bigger crowds. And tonight, folks, I am absolutely pumped to be joined by the creator herself on UnwindTO, Lisa Mukandi.
Thank you so much for having me, Everold. I am truly, truly honored.
Well, listen, I totally, I feel you. And, so let's start right off the bat, because you and I share a bit of history together.
We go way back.
and the audience might be saying, now, really, what kind of history? Well, so you tell them, you share with them.
Sure. So when I actually went to U of T, Mississauga for my undergrad, a couple years ago. I was taking finance at the time, but, to obviously support the costs of tuition and living costs and everything else that comes along with pursuing a degree, I had to work part-time. So I actually got the opportunity to work at a Lexus dealership in Oakville. Yes. As a receptionist. So I was there for a couple of years, and this is where I met the incredible Everold Reid.
Well,
he was the lease manager at the time. So that's how we actually got to know each other. So we actually go way back.
Yeah, and the thing about our history together, and I think it's such a big deal, when I launched my book.
Oh my goodness.
The chosen one. So why don't you show the audience what we're talking about?
So the incredible Everold Reid is actually a successful author in addition to his podcast hosting and the many hats he wears. The man does not sleep.
Pretty much.
So his first book launch was actually at the dealership. And just to see him just introduce his book to the world, get it published, was just so amazing. I was there at the front desk holding up the book, to all.
You were my cashier that night, because remember you were manning the table. You were the cashier that night.
Oh my! I was trying to do it all,
Yeah. So it was such a long line that I thought, oh my God, there's hundreds of people responded in social media, and they gave me the list. I'm like, I need help. And the first person I turned to was you.
I got you, Everold. No, but honestly, it was just so amazing to see that, because if I can tell you a little bit about this man, he's so hardworking, working the front desk at the dealership. He'd be coming to me. I sold a car. We'd have to write up the deals as receptionists. And every 5 minutes, I swear, he came and told me he sold a new car. So, and all the while working on his book at the same time and just doing so many different other things. He's a father as well. Can we discuss that? So, Everold, you are a true inspiration. And just So just to be on your platform is so incredibly special to me, especially because we go so way back.
Yeah, and listen, I admire you as well, and I think you've known that from the very beginning. Because when I was writing the book, it took about 14 months. I think you were one of the handful of people that actually knew. And, right?
Wow.
Yeah, we would talk about little tidbits and what I was doing, but we didn't share it with very many people. And
at the dealership, yeah.
That's right, until it was launched. So you were one of the very few people that knew, especially at the dealership, that anything called a book. So it was only appropriate that when the time came to launch the book, that you were a part of that with me as well. And believe me, that was a massive undertaking that night, because we had hundreds of people show up in the dealership. Cars out of the showroom, and we had a band. We had a live band from my friend Pinball Clemens and his wife, and it was just amazing, from Diane Clemens. And we had food and ran out of food, which was okay.
Well, it was a good event.
But I want to thank you, and I want to acknowledge what you've done, and nothing surprises me about what you've done right now, because I've always realized that you had great talent and you had great big goals, and from where you came in your career, you were very disciplined about your work and school and all that important stuff. So here we are. When I saw you pop up on Instagram, and I'm like, what's this Unwind thing? Lisa's name, so what was one of the first things when I called you or text you? I'm like, Lisa, what was one of my first comments?
You were just like, wow, what is this?
Yeah.
Everold, from the very first post, you've been just so supportive about the whole concept. And that's one of the things that just kept me going. And I'm so incredibly happy that you're behind this 100%.
No, absolutely. I think it's going to blow up in a good way. So, So listen, let's share with our audience, and there's a lot of people that I know had signed up to watch this and to to tune in to your story. And this is a great story, and I love telling inspirational stories. So what inspired you to the idea of Unwind? What was that trigger for you?
Well, it's a lot. So I guess I can just start from the beginning. As I mentioned previously, I went to U of T Mississauga for finance. So throughout this program, I actually applied for several internship positions and actually experienced a lot of internships, probably 3 summers in a row, just so I could, supplement my education on my resume and, look, have success, once I approach graduation in terms of looking for jobs. So, going through those internships was very, very key to me in terms of career development. As I said, I've gone through many internships, full-time employment opportunities as well. And I noticed there weren't many people that looked like me in these spaces. I was just hardly seeing, Black professionals around me, just in the corporate space. And I think the next question someone would ask is, well, why is this even important? Why is it relevant to you? And just from my perspective, it's just kind of discouraging to see the lack of space that we're taking up. In these corporate spaces, not only in the executive level positions, but we're seeing this at the entry level too. I wasn't seeing many people like me at the summer internship level too. So I think that's a gap that really needs to be addressed. And, we're often underrepresented in many areas. And don't get me wrong, as Black people, we're doing incredible. We're in so many different spaces. We're entrepreneurs, we're doctors, we're lawyers. We're doing so many different things. But just in the corporate space, I just wasn't...
you weren't feeling it.
I wasn't feeling it overall. And, and I think, in general, as Black professionals, we face some some significant barriers, low growth prospects, or marginalized in certain ways. So I envisioned a space where we could all just connect as Black professionals and grow our networks. Relationship building is very, very important to me. I'll get into it later. But a space where we could just grow our networks and, reflect on the Black experience with those who could relate. So this is where Unwind, the event series, sort of came about. But as you said previously, COVID-19 didn't want it.
No, it didn't. But you still persisted. So what's the main mission of Unwind? How did you envision the mission?
So I really just wanted to just start a space on Instagram that could perhaps serve the same purpose. So generally, just to summarize really quickly, the aim of Unwind is just to bring Black professionals together, entrepreneurs, Black professionals in all fields, in all spaces, just so we can expand our networks and see uplifting and relatable content. I think, on a day-to-day basis, we have so many obligations. You know this more than anyone. So I think, we just have a lot in our personal and professional, the professional aspect as well. So I think the aim here is to provide those who follow along with Unwind with, relatable stories, general guidance, and so on. And I'm not sure, Everold, if you saw a story I posted about Aika Wong.
Mm-hmm. I saw a little bit of it. I still have to
Yeah. So essentially, I want to just, bring light to stories like that because I think it's really important. I think a lot of people can relate to stuff like that. So just very, very briefly, I posted a quote that a quote of hers saying, it's a lot of pressure being the only Black person in the room. And I think it's something a lot of people can relate to.
Yes.
And just in summary, she's a TV personality. She was on Big Brother Canada. And through that, she received opportunities to work as a TV correspondent for ET Canada at an organization. At ET Canada, sorry. So through that experience, she wasn't treated very well. Low compensation. When her peers would ask, "Oh, are you expensing your travels?" No, like nothing. It was all out of pocket. And then when these recent uprisings started in relation to the Black Lives Matter movement, the company wouldn't even address it. They said, "Oh, it's not trending," or something along those lines. So she stood up. She stood up to the organization she was working with. I thought that was very, very commendable, and I think it was inspiring to the followers of Unwind to just to
see that.
Yeah, don't let your voice be silenced.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Absolutely. And you're not letting your voice be silent right now. UnwindTO. So from the conceptual stage to going live until now, what have you learned from the short journey already that has created
Everold, I learned that running a social media account is no joke.
No.
Absolutely no joke whatsoever. And I commend anyone who has been doing so for years because I truly don't know how you've been doing it. Just to expand on that, I think it really takes time and research to post content that is meaningful to those who are following along, because I don't want to just have a page where I'm, posting meaningless content that won't serve anyone any purpose. So I really take the time to research what I'm about to post, whether, it's a story or it's a research-based post. I really take the time. And I think I was actually telling you this when you were first kind of wondering what this was all about. So prior to me starting the page, I think I prepped about 2 weeks worth of content.
Jeez.
I was up till like 5 a.m. just trying to perfect. And, I would pivot as things would happen, in real life events. And so it was a lot of just creating, pivoting, editing, researching, so that once I did actually launch, I was being very, very, very consistent and would show everyone who's following along that I'm actually, my heart's in this. And yeah.
You know what? And I can tell because I've seen content that you post. And folks, you got to check out this page on Instagram, UnwindTO. The content, and I even said to you in a couple of our messages back and forth, I'm like, Lisa, like this is such in depth. Like this is a lot of work. And you'd think that you have help, and I can't do any of that myself. So, no, but this is amazing, and that
means the world. Thank you.
No problem. What I knew, and you had this innate talent and creativity, but to see it come to life is really, really exciting. And
thank you so much.
So, do you remember Adam? Adam that used to work with us?
Yes, with the Zimbabwean lions. Well, previously, yes. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Adam. So Adam says hi.
Oh my gosh, he's watching?
Yes. You know how he would stretch your name out. You go, Lisa. Yeah, that's
Adam, I miss you.
Yeah, so that's Adam. Anyways, so you're Adam, you got your plug.
Yeah.
So what sort of feedback have you received, and what's the most interesting or encouraging feedback that you've received?
Oh my gosh. So Everold, before I even really exposed who I was, because for the longest period of time, I wasn't even saying who I am until this podcast. So you kind of forced me to, put myself out there. But yeah, before I even revealed who I was, a total stranger just sent me a message through the Unwind account and just started venting about the experiences he was having in his workplace. And the fact that he didn't even know who I was, but he was still just willing to share and vent. And it was very touching. And that's honestly one of the things that has really, really kept me going, because if it's touching one person, I don't know, it might be touching, other lives as well. So
there are many more to come, I'm sure.
Oh, I hope so. So yeah, I've been able to connect with so many new individuals. You probably know about some of the initiatives that kind of started, like self-care Saturdays, for example.
So I've seen all the nice themes.
So yeah, I'll quickly summarize that. So self-care Saturdays is when I take the opportunity to post different health, hair, and beauty brands. And the tagline on that is, because excellence requires the best version of ourselves. And I truly believe when we're prioritizing our physical and mental health, we can pursue our goals. We're unstoppable. So I just want to highlight those entrepreneurs and brands who can help elevate us. And at the same time, I really think it's important to highlight the incredible work that they're doing. I recently just posted a selection of fitness entrepreneurs, people who are in the nutrition space. My very first one was barbers and hairstylists. I think,
I saw that.
I think, a lot of the time I'm asking my friends, okay, I want this style. Who can do it? So to have just that curated list of people who are doing fantastic work in those spaces is just so important to me. And I think it's important to our well-being. So I just want to highlight those individuals and thank them, for all the work that they're doing. And then Spotlight Sunday, I'm not sure if you've seen that, but that's when I highlight individuals who are doing incredible work in the Greater Toronto area. So I've had a few individuals who have been highlighted in that space as well.
Well, there's a lot of comments, Lisa, being posted.
Right now?
Yes.
I'm not on Facebook. I don't want to say.
No, it's okay. No. That's fine. But this is all good. This is really encouraging, and people are appreciating what you're doing so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is great.
Can I see the comments after the show?
Oh, absolutely. You can see them. Because that guy, I'm not going to talk to him anymore. No, it's all great stuff. So I thank everybody for tuning in. Story to share about great possibilities and initiative. And, you were just talking about excellence requires the best version of us. Lisa, that's an amazing quote. So don't mind if you see that one day me reposting it.
I would be honored.
I'll give you credit. Right? So
thank you.
So who has encouraged? I mean, there's always a what, there's always a story.
Yes.
There's always an initiative, there's always a goal, but then there's also the who. So who has encouraged or influenced your bold moves and ideas?
Bold.
Bold. I mean, here you are, right?
No, that's a very good question. I think I just have a very, very strong support system. My core family and friends that are just always there encouraging me. And that's honestly what keeps me going. People like you in my circle, constantly just being the biggest cheerleader. It means everything to me. And I wouldn't have, gone as far in my career or anything else in life without that strong unit. So that's really important to me. But I think, honestly, my partner, Joshua Hall, who you know very well, I have to highlight him. He is just probably the most driven person that I know. Every day, just constantly pushing me to leave my comfort zone, do things that scare me, because I think I posted something about this. No growth comes out of your comfort zone or something along those lines. And it's very, very true, because if you don't do things that scare you, there's really just no growth that comes out of that. And I think it's super, super important to just push the envelope a little bit each day, just so you can progress, not only in your career, but in the personal areas of your life as well. And just going back to Josh, so we met at General Electric in 2015. We were both interns there. So ever since then, he just has been blowing me away with his own accomplishments. And not only just the career aspect I'm going to talk about, he's just the most kind-hearted human being. It's incredible. Like the way he treats people, he motivates me to just be a better person every single day, just all around good person, not only striving for, great things in your career, but just treating people well. And he has been brought up in the most amazing family. So I'm thankful to them as well for, pulling me into their lives. And my family, I think we'll get into this later. My family is everything to me. I'm truly thankful for my circle. I'll just leave it at that.
So with every great woman, comes a great support system.
Yeah.
And to take from another famous woman, Eleanor Roosevelt, she says, do something every day that scares you. So I'm echoing what you're saying there. And I back Josh on that one for sure. Step out of the comfort zone. I mean, I stepped out of the comfort zone with a podcast. I had no idea what a podcast was when. And
look how well you're doing.
But, you need to do webinars, and you need to do videos, and you need to do podcasts. I'm like, what the hell is a podcast? Right?
And look, we're episode 71.
Yes.
71.
And then I said, well, if I'm going to do this, then I only want some of the best people, because I believe in bringing, the best to the audience. And that's why you're sitting in the same chair as Les Brown, Tom Hopkins.
Everold, I was just going to say.
A couple weeks ago. Because People like yourself who are, whether you are a student, like, a recent graduate or, a young adult or a visible minority, doesn't matter. And you're creating opportunities, you're creating ideas, you're creating change. And you're bold enough to step out of that comfort zone and say, look, this can affect, if it's but one life, you never know what that one life could do for the rest of the world.
Exactly.
So I really commend you. I'm with you all the way. So I know that you're remarkably, and I think I touched on this already, you're remarkably close to your family, especially your mom.
Oh my gosh.
Pleasure of meeting.
You did, yeah.
Once or twice at work. Yeah.
Oh, she came to the dealership, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Yes. That's so funny.
So what does this mean? And I know you're very close to her. So what does this mean to both of you? Just you two ladies and maybe your sister.
Okay, so I am so incredibly close to my family. I know they're watching right now. No, but I moved out when I started working in downtown Toronto. My family is in Oakville, but I am just back and forth constantly. Like, my family is my everything. They are my self-care. When I need a laugh, they're there to provide it, or we watch all these silly shows together, and it's my way of unwinding. when I go home to my family, I love them so much. I live with my Aunt Rue and my sister Cindy and my mom Savon. They're everything to me. And yeah, like you said, I'm super close to my mom. Where do I even start with her? I made a post about her because I just think that her story is so inspiring. And I sort of centered the theme around pushing forward despite your circumstances, because she really exemplifies someone who does that, who's resilient, who's persistent, no matter what she's going through. She, as you mentioned previously, we immigrated from Zimbabwe. And, when we came here, with her husband, her kids, my aunt, she was such a young mother. She left everything behind. She sold all her belongings, left her family and friends behind, everything she, and it's been literally an 18-year journey to citizenship. Everold. We just became citizens in November of last year. Yeah. Thank you. Wow. So she constantly just she worked towards her CPA while raising us, working odd jobs, facing discrimination. In the post that I made about her, I said something about how she was applying for a job at a bank, and someone said, "Oh, your face is not going to sell here," or something along those lines. Just so much she's gone through. Family events, illness. But does that ever stop her? No. She's now a published children's book author.
Really?
And yes, she told us recently, she this woman, I'm sorry, that's disrespectful. I love you, Mom. But I'm sorry. She just one day she popped out of nowhere and said, "I published a children's book." We had no idea that she was even working on anything like this. We knew she loves to draw. But yeah, we had no idea this was even happening. Now she's on Amazon. She's in Barnes and Noble now, random bookstores in Denmark.
Awesome.
So that's my inspiration right there. I love you, Mama.
Well, see, look at that. That's amazing. So we worked together for a few years, and I can't think of a time that I saw you and you were not smiling. Or you were not greeting me or anyone with a smile first, and with this genuine authenticity about you. That showed genuine care. And like I said, you were the one that was there helping me out when I launched the book, and literally working with me for a few hours. So where do you draw your drive from, and the constant smile and positivity is so.
No, thank you, Everold. That means everything that you even say that. Thank you.
Well, it's true. I mean, for years, so it's not like it's made up, right?
No, thank you. But no, I think like I said before, just everyone in my support system, including you guys keep me smiling. You guys keep me going. But, I think the drive will always just stem from the fact that my parents gave up so much for us to be in Canada. As I said previously, they left everything they knew behind. And now we're finally citizens. We have free healthcare. We have access to all these opportunities that not many people can say they have around the world. There's a lot going on in the world right now.
Yes.
But, so 100%. And just to say I'm a Canadian citizen now, I wake up every day just so incredibly grateful. And I just try to use every day to make the most of these opportunities that I'm getting. I never thought, I would be at, one of Canada's big banks or anything ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just... it's just... I just can't take anything for granted. And I think that's what keeps me going.
Within everything that you've said, and here you are on the show, and it's episode 71, folks, off the podcast. And I'm here with Lisa Mukandi, and we've been discussing social entrepreneurship and putting ideas into action, because this lady is not only, talking the talk, but she's walking the walk and putting her great ideas into action. And starting the social entrepreneurship site, UnwindTO, that is turning heads, captivating hearts and minds, and encouraging people to step out, to show empathy, to unwind, as she's, to get together more. And a couple of things that I'm literally writing down quotes from you. And
stop.
Excellence requires your best version of yourself. Okay, so that's true. And pushing forward regardless of your circumstances. So basically, not bowing down to pressure, not bowing down to hard work, not giving up. Not crying over spilled milk and saying, poor me, I'm in this situation. But pushing forward. So there's a lot of significant takeaways.
I completely agree. It's all very important stuff, and we're all dealing with a lot. But I think you just have to. I think gratitude is a big thing.
Yes,
and another huge thing is to just acknowledge your progress whenever you can. I think we're all constantly striving for the next thing. I want to do this. I want this job, or, I want to work for this company now. But weren't you just wanting to work for your current company a couple months ago? So, and I'm very, very guilty of that. So, I think honestly, just acknowledging your progress, gratitude, persistence, resilience. Yeah.
I'm not taking no for an answer.
Amen.
I'm having a good mama.
Oh, that's key.
So what are your long-term goals and bigger plans for UnwindTO? What do you think that looks like? 2, 3 years?
That's a very, very good question, because it's so early on. I think we're a month old now, or 2 months almost. Wow.
You're a month old and you're on shows. Okay, you're on my show. I just better be the first show that you're on.
Oh yeah. Had to come here first. Oh my gosh, Everold. No, but it's very, very, very early on. I made my first post on June 14th. So what is that, 2 months or
6 weeks?
A month and a half, almost, yeah. So yeah, it's very, very, very fresh. And keep in mind, like this was an event series I was thinking about. It wasn't an Instagram page.
Yeah.
So I'm just.
But it's evolved.
Evolved, right? It's so nice to see. Mm-hmm.
So you've obviously pivoted. You thought of an events page, and now you've got the type of engagement and feedback.
Yeah.
That you pivoted a bit.
Exactly.
You start providing the inspirational themes every day.
Exactly.
And that, folks, is one of the main things about entrepreneurship that is evidenced today in this episode with Lisa on entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship is, and whatever your startup idea is you don't have to worry about what color the website is today or your logo looks like today or tomorrow. What you need to do is start, because where you'll actually end up 6 weeks from now, like Lisa is not where you started. So you don't have to get it all perfect in the first day to when you start.
No, you don't.
You literally just need to start somewhere. Mm-hmm. Yes, you will make some mistakes, but the mistakes are not really mistakes. They're learning experiences.
For sure.
Right? They're ideas. They're showing you where you need to pivot and scale. And Lisa is scaling right now in 6 weeks. Right? The idea, you know,
I'm trying.
to all these things, and the engagement is a proof. The engagement is proof that you're captivating an audience.
Oh, thank you.
So it's not just fluff. And you're reacting to the audience and their appearance, and you can see from the comments and from the posts that these are not just random posts that somebody is sitting up late at night or on their lunch break throwing up a post. You know that there's work involved in these, and there's research, and that's the thing that I'm
yes.
Like I admire that, because I know what it's like to write books. I know what it's like to create.
You do.
Right? I know what it's like
to involve people.
Before I go on a show and at least have an idea what I'm talking about with the guest. And you're doing that. And
Thank you.
I think that's why the sky's the limit. So
thank you so much. Yeah. So you're asking about the vision for it. So I think obviously I want to grow the platform. I want to continue to curate content that is relevant to us as Black professionals. I think a really big part of that in terms of curating content is I just literally post what I'm feeling that day. Like maybe someone else is going through it. I don't know what an example could be.
But that's what makes it so real, Lisa. It's not like you're forcing yourself to make content. It's coming from you.
You know what I've learned? The more genuine you are, I think is, it really shows through the content when you're being genuine. Because when you try to make posts just to generate engagement, it's just a myth.
You can know whether it's fake or if it's highly researched versus authentic. I mean, yes, you can do research.
Yeah.
But if the idea comes from the heart and you research to back it up, or, that's different. But
exactly,
you're sharing or talking about a subject that you are feeling within that you want to resonate with other people.
For sure.
To come out the way that you are, because
exactly,
they'll go, oh my God, I'm thinking the same thing, or have the same idea, or maybe I should have thought about that, or maybe just like that gentleman reached out to you about his experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I really, really think that being genuine is very, very important, especially when you want to curate content that will be helpful to people. And I'm really glad that it's resonating with at least someone, And in terms of while I keep dodging this question, what are my wildest dreams for Unwind? I just really hope that the event series comes to fruition once this pandemic has passed, because that was really the initial goal. I would really love if we can have, monthly events for Black professionals to unwind, just from all, the day-to-day obligations, just to have fun in an informal setting, because networking sessions have that, associated pressure, to perform in a way. But I really think that if there's like an event space where we could just gather from all different industries, because I think the city of Toronto has done an incredible job of providing associations for Black professionals. You have some in the tech space and the finance space. But I think if we can all just gather, and grow our networks, because I think network building is very, very important to me. Excuse me if I'm rambling.
I'll be at the very first event, and I'll bring...
Yes.
I'll bring some peeps. We'll fill the house up.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
You've seen me fill up one house already. I think we can.
I've seen it. Firsthand.
So we can certainly.
I think it should be the coordinator.
That's what we're here for, is to support each other.
Exactly. Supporting each other is so, so key. And I think network building is very key as well. I think, in Black communities, we don't have as much of the generational wealth as other races. We don't have as many connections in higher places within these corporations. So I think it's so important for, relationship building, connecting, networking. I think that all of that is so, so, so important. And it really could lead to meaningful relationships like you and I.
Yeah.
And meaningful connections, and great opportunities. So that's really the aim for not only this page, but for the future event series that are to follow.
Nice. I'm so looking forward to the events.
Yes, I can't wait.
What's the main message you'd like to deliver to the audience tonight about Unwind? If you had that couple of minutes, in the elevator, what's the main message? Where are the opportunities? What's the encouragement? And maybe talk about, the whole idea, the whole entrepreneurship idea, because this is what it's become.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree with you. And I think that's very important, to send the viewers away with a message. And I think, the message I'd like to deliver is, first of all, don't wait for approval from anyone, colleagues. Don't wait for the approval of your colleagues, of your friends, family, your neighbors. When you have an idea, just go for it. Because I'm very, very guilty of that. I'll be like, is this a good idea? when I'm thinking about something like this page, for example, before I made the very first post, I was very, very hesitant. I was a little bit anxious as well. I was like, how is this going to go? And I remember saying, I just want 30 followers. I don't know why that was my target randomly, but I was like, if I get 30 followers, I'll be... So I think...
it's safe to say you've passed that now. The first day, probably.
No, but it's really just about just sending out a good message, touching lives. I think it's not about followers. It's not about these numbers. It's just touching lives. It's the purpose of this page, as I mentioned previously, is to build connections, because, of everything else that I mentioned previously about not seeing us in all of these spaces, and the ability to connect and, have this common experience in the workplace. I think that is so, so important. And I hope this can be the platform that people can come to when, they're feeling underrepresented, or maybe not as motivated. Maybe something they see on the page will motivate them as well. And as I mentioned previously, no growth comes out of your comfort zone. Take risks, push the envelope, because that will just take you to that next step. And
I can't believe this is Lisa talking.
Everold, why are you doing this?
No, I can't believe.
No,
this is amazing. Like, listen to you. Like this, you're gonna have to get up on stages soon enough and talk this talk.
Absolutely not. No, I'm kidding. Comfort zone, right?
Yeah, that's right.
No, but yeah, just know growth comes out of your comfort zone. Take risks. That's how you'll learn. If you make mistakes, pivot, like we mentioned previously. It's all about pivoting nowadays. And if the risk pays off, hey, you won either way. So either way, you're reaping benefits. And I think that's super, super important. And if you have an idea, just go for it. You don't know who it could help. You don't know you don't know who might need it. So I think that's those. I know I kind of said a lot there.
So
that's what I'm kind of.
We've been going through COVID, which is what inspired you to start working on this. You were inspired before, but COVID forced you to pivot to a different type of series. Mm-hmm. As a young entrepreneur, which you are now, what do you say to other young folks out there, college graduates or still in college, that have these ideas, that they go to bed thinking about it, they get up thinking about it, they can't sleep, they talk to one or two people. What do you say to them, tomorrow, like tonight, the next hour? What should you do?
If you have an idea and you're passionate about it, just start. Just start right now. Because let me be very candid with you, Everold. Like, I think, I have a 9-to-5. I work full time. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever spent so much outside of my 9-to-5 on something until now. So that was kind of a sign for me that, like, okay, like, pursue this. Just keep doing what you're doing. You don't seek approval. Just go for it, because I've tried taking so many different courses outside of work to get all these different designations, to, learn a new skill. My heart just wasn't in it. But the fact that I was up till 5 a.m. making posts for 2 weeks worth of content for this page, I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere here. So my advice is just, if you're passionate about something, start, because you don't know what that could turn into. I think it's very important to pursue what you're passionate about. And it's important to just start. Don't seek approval, as I said previously. Just go for it. And
so when you say just start, to the person that, let's say, wants to start tonight,
yes,
how do they start? I mean, what's the first thing they should do to start? Like, what did you do to start in terms of, you had an idea. Did you write things down? Did you make a list? What did start look like?
Starting for me, I just kind of wrote down ideas about, let's say I'm a Black professional. I'm on Instagram. I'm on this account. What do I want to see? So at the very, very first stage of the account, I really think that was when all the protests and everything was just happening. Everything was just escalating at that point. Mm-hmm. So I made a point to make a post about how to navigate the corporate world, just based on the current climate as a Black professional, what to do. So I had different tips, just, seek out mental health resources, or if you have an employee resource group, lean on them, or it's okay to take a mental health day. It's not your responsibility to educate others about what's going on. Use your paid time off, use your vacation days. There's a lot going on right now. We're seeing a lot of traumatic images as Black people. So we, showing up on these Zoom calls during our 9-to-5, we're performing with everything that's going on in the world. So that kind of inspired the very first post of Unwind. And then as things developed, I just kind of had ideas what I was going through, what was going on in the world. And, I don't know if you know this, but I have like a little ghost Instagram account that I use to kind of build up my grid and see what designs work and see what designs don't work. So if I add this picture, what would this look like? So just little thing I'm learning. I don't know much about this whole social media thing. I'm learning as I go. So
well, that makes two of us, and this is why it's important what you're doing, because this is where we can help each other to grow. Right?
That's true.
So we all don't know everything that we need to. And since I reached out to you, I've actually talked to you about other things, about other ideas.
Yes, you have.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, Lisa, she does know, because look at what she's just done. So this is what happens, folks. And once you start, trust me, if you put something good out there, people will find you. And it might take a week, it might take a year, it might take a month, but trust me, if you believe in what you're doing and it's authentic and it can help other people's lives, to improve other people's lives,
yes,
you will get recognized and you'll be surprised. I get, calls from all over the United States now asking me to come on different shows and to speak on different subjects. But I've been at it a while. Right. So it's just part of the process. It's part of the evolution. And you started and you're already making some waves. And I appreciate that. And I don't really, if you want to help each other in the Black community or in any community, you simply reach out and you connect and you say, hey, I think this is a great idea. What you're doing is pretty cool. How can I help?
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. And that can go a long way. And
exactly.
And like you say, you never know where it will go and it will pivot. So I commend you, and I really want to
thank you.
Say, from meeting you a few years ago and working with you directly.
Yes.
Time. I really want to thank you for coming on the show and being bold enough. I know you were hesitant initially and like, oh my God.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
Everold, oh my goodness. You should have seen me trying to hype myself up before this call.
I had a sense of something because you kept texting me, like, don't worry. Right?
I'm so sorry.
No, it's great. And that's where the authenticity is. It's keeping it real.
No, but you really, really pushed me to step outside of my comfort zone. And I've never been interviewed, let alone live.
But it's done. And it's going on the internet. And it's going to be seen by thousands of people. And UnwindTO is going to be a phenomenon.
Oh my gosh, everyone means the world.
So folks, we really enjoy. I want to thank Lisa for being on the Reid Method Insider Podcast tonight. And Lisa, just before we go, would you please share with the audience how they can get a hold of Unwind and how they can follow?
Yes. So Unwind is only currently on the Instagram platform, but we're developing, we're growing. So I do have plans to create an official website at some point, but for now you can find Unwind at UnwindTO, all no characters or anything, just UnwindTO, TO being short for Toronto, obviously. Everold, we previously spoke about expanding Unwind to other cities.
Yes.
That was your idea. So hopefully one day, that'll be the case. But for now, UnwindTO on Instagram. And just a final word, Everold, I cannot thank you enough for having me on your show. You are doing the most amazing things. You wake up at 5 a.m. Just
yes,
constant day in, day out. You have really created an incredible platform. You've had Les Brown and Tom Hopkins on your show, and now I'm here. I don't even have words for you. So
recently, honestly, Mr. Evan Carmichael, a YouTube sensation, from Toronto as well. And yesterday, I've never had a video get 10,000 views in 24 hours yet. And yesterday we had that with Evan episode.
Look what you're doing, Everold. Okay,
well, you're going to have to top that now.
I don't know about 10,000.
We'll make it work. We'll figure it out.
No, but thank you again, Everold. This really means the world to me. And I'm so excited for you. You are going places. Just don't forget us.
I can tell you right now, the comments and the compliments, Lisa, are plenty on Facebook.
My God. Thank you.
We'll definitely share and we'll be replying to them. So currently I'm liking a lot of them that...
thank you. I'll go on after this. Yeah. I'm not on my phone.
And we'll definitely be replying to you folks. We appreciate you tuning into the show. It's been an incredible show. And I want to thank Lisa for definitely stepping out and sharing her incredible thoughts and ideas with us. And again, I got to tell you, she said, excellent requires the best version of us, putting your best foot forward. Mm-hmm. She talked about, doing something outside of your comfort zone. And, the great, another lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, said, hey, do something every day that scares you. If you're not, then you're not pushing yourself. Mm-hmm. And then you also talked about pushing forward regardless of the circumstances and overcoming those obstacles. And this is so massive right now because I've been reading the book. I just finished reading the book, a couple of books here. Mm-hmm. And the one book that I read lately that has just captivated my attention is called The Obstacle is the Way.
Oh, I've never heard of that. No.
Okay. And that book is an amazing book. It's by Ryan Holiday, and the obstacle is the way, because it's saying that if you start something and you're working on a plan and you encounter obstacles, overcoming those obstacles, whether you pivot or come up with a different idea or start over, is showing you the way. So don't be afraid of obstacles. Don't be afraid of the naysayers. Don't let anyone stop you.
Exactly.
The obstacle is the way.
And Everold, if I can just add one more thing, sometimes you are your own biggest obstacle. I'm very, very guilty of that. I'm like, oh, I can't do this. About every single thing, like interviews, anything, and new pursuits. Just believe in yourself.
No, absolutely. I mean, you are, and it's good that you have a support team. But even if the support team says, well, maybe it's not a good idea, but you still feel within your heart that it is, they will support you no matter what. And I really, again, I admire what you're doing. I think it's just great. I'm excited about it. So, and I'm excited about it because I know you. I've seen your growth, from school days and working years at the dealership and going to schools. And so I admire what you've done, and I always really appreciate good talent and people. What I appreciate more is hard work. People who actually lay it on the line and put in the effort and are disciplined.
Yes.
Okay. I remember you always showed up to work. You always came
to pay the bills.
Yes. You always came in for extra shifts when you were asked. Okay? You came in and worked a shift for me. Right? So, and you're always willing to help out. So, folks,
anything for you.
This has been episode 71 of the Reid Method Insider Podcast. We always welcome your feedback and your insights to the show at insider@thereidmethod.com. And anyone who'd like to appear on the show, you can email us at insider@thereidmethod.com. The website is thereidmethod.com, obviously. And the podcast, go on right now and follow the podcast. It's the Reid Method Insider. It's on SoundCloud, iTunes, but go there right now and follow it, because we will be editing and pumping out this audio version with Lisa Mukandi in a couple of weeks in the audio. Stay tuned on YouTube as well when we edit the video, and it'll be up on YouTube so you can rewatch it and learn about all of Lisa's great ideas and her inspiration on entrepreneurship. So we always invite your freedom. So, and please, we have had many great guests. Stay tuned, and you can go to your podcast, listen to through your favorite app. We've had Les Brown numerous times. Les Brown's doing a ton of lives right now. We've done 5 episodes with Les Brown. We've done 3 with Les Brown, 5 with Mr. Hopkins. Recently, we had Evan Carmichael. He's got 2.4 million YouTube followers. He was just on 2 weeks ago.
Everold, wow.
And Thornley Brown. We have Steve Benson out of Silicon Valley. These are people, ladies and gentlemen, who are, making things happen in the world. So I encourage you to check out the podcast where you will get your next great idea, because this is all the great thought leaders in the world that are showing up on this show. So I appreciate you all watching and listening from all these countries. I'm seeing countries like unbelievable. Today we had a lot of people from Spain listening to
Spain.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. The country. So thank you very much, everybody, and thank you all for watching on Facebook Live tonight. We'll definitely get back to a lot of you with the comments, and then thank you for your support of the show. Thank you for supporting Lisa.
Thank you,
Lisa.
Thank you, Everold. Thank you to whoever's watching. Their support is everything. Thank you.
The history on Michael Jordan.